Today I'm documenting my thoughts on remixes and my opinions, and I don't hear a lot of talk about remixes, so it'd be great if you could leave a comment below, tell me how you go about a remix when you get your stems first, how you tackle it, and your thoughts on it. So in my opinion, a remix is something that takes parts of like the original track and turns it into something new, but also has to somehow reference the old track, not necessarily completely. You don't have to reuse like a whole intro and then just cut out the drop and make your own drop. I think that's a separate thing. A flip, an edit, something like that. I think at least it needs to be referential to the old track, whether that be a melody or a sound or something that you're like, oh yeah, I can clearly see how the old track sits into this new one. So I wanted to go through some of the remixes that I've done before, such as the Revolver remix and the Burial Tombs remix. For the Revolver remix, what I did was I took the stems and reordered them. It was a lot of reorganization to get a different feeling at the beginning of the track. I think the only thing that actually kept the way it was is the vocals. I put some effects on them, but I also took the melody and I cut it up to get a couple notes and recreated a creepy, spooky little melody out of that. And I believe in that one I may have also just put some of the other basses they had used and ran them through a bunch of effects and stretching to get some of my really crazier sounds in that one, such as this sound. And what I did with the Burial Tombs remix was a little bit of rearranging of the elements. I believe I kept the intro mostly the same. I added a lot of effects for atmosphere's sake and kind of give it the mood that the whole track has overall. So the things I want to do with remixes in the future is I'm tired of the way that I've been tackling them, just slightly rearranging stems to somewhat sound different. I really want to try to take the original and flip it on its head and do something completely different. One example is with this remix I'm doing for Joseph Anthony. His track, Devil's Reaper, has a very specific tone to it, and I want to make it even darker and more atmospheric. I guess really push that angle. I want to take one of the instruments that he uses and write a new melody for the track. And so I want to make sure to keep referential elements in it, probably such as the vocal tag that he has right before the drop, and I want to use some of the same sounds. So like what I write the melody out of, I want to be one of the instruments that he has, so I'll just sample that. Another thing is I want to use some of the elements and just throw a ton of reverb on there and maybe reverse them and do kind of like airy, spacey things with them. And of course, my favorite, take something and make a super awesome distorted crunchy bass out of it. The troubles I'm having with remixes right now is I'm feeling trapped in a box of making it sound like the original, but somehow different. I want to lean more into really changing up a track and making a remix much different than the original. Because in my experience, it's always been really easy just to replace a drop with my own drop and then call it a day. Personally, I want to push myself to see what else I can do with stems. So luckily, with remixes that I'm currently working on, such as Joseph's song, I don't have a deadline, though honestly I should probably just finish this thing, but it's giving me a chance to play around with new ideas. Okay, so I think that covers everything. This is going to be a pretty short one. This is just kind of my thoughts currently on remixes. If you get anything out of these little video diaries, awesome, that's great, and I super appreciate you guys. I really want to do a shout out to Vipensity, my Minotaur mama, Tanzin, and Malik for commenting last week and engaging. That's super awesome. I love to see your guys' names and faces, little icons every time I put something up. It's super great. I really appreciate you guys. Okay, so I'm off to go do what I do best, go make some spooky noises, and then share them with you guys later. All right, I will see you guys around.